Hi, my name is Felix Rosario, and my presentation for Resilient Regions is on the Wilson Inlet and the opening of the bar. I just felt the inlet represented the bioregion of Denmark really well, and the opening of the bar reflects the community's resilience. Just a bit of background, the waterways in the southwest. WA has 208 major rivers, and so they flow out to 166 estuaries. And they have important ecological, economic, and cultural values, especially with Indigenous populations. And they contribute to Southwest's $5 billion agricultural and $2 billion tourism industry. The waterways are under threat by agriculture, land clearing, urbanisation, and climate change, and less than 1% are still classed as pristine. The Wilson Inlet is fed by a couple of big rivers, the Denmark River and the Hay River, and it receives an average of 200 gigalitres of water every year, and that fluctuates quite a bit. It supports a few small fishery industries, crabs and fish, and recreational use such as kayaking. It's also home to many native endemic birds and fish, such as the pelicans and the black swans. And because it's an estuary, it's a mix of saltwater and freshwater. So you get saltwater fish when the bar's open, and then you get freshwater fish when the bar's closed and this salinity's gone down. Why open the sandbar? So the sandbar's been artificially opened every winter since 1920 or the 20s, and then it's to limit the flooding in the urbanised and agricultural areas surrounding the inlet. So you need that 200 gigalitres of water to flow out. Otherwise, the water level would rise, and because we've built and we've got farms and houses along the bank of the Denmark River and the low-lying areas, we want that water to flow out and not flood our houses and farms. That's really the additional benefit of the river of opening the sandbar is it flushes out the tannins and the toxins and sometimes nutrients that build up, and also allows for that marine exchange of saltwater and freshwater. A few people involved in the opening of the bar is the Water Corporation, which monitors the water level, and they decide if the bar is going to be opened. And then the Department of Water provides recommendations with the location of the opening and also on the environmental impacts. And then the Shire of Denmark manages public access to the sandbar and manages adjacent land use, and it represents community interests. There's also the Denmark Lifesaving Club, which assists with the public when the day the bar's open. The timing of the bar, so in 2007 there wasn't enough water, so they didn't open it, and then they wrote up these new protocols for the management of the opening, and it's put that the minimum level needs to be 0.7 meters, but the target level is 1 meter. Any lower than that, and you risk impacting the seagrass, which is the base of the food chain for a lot of the aquatic species in the inlet. And then the other factor is the time in the month. So you want to do it earlier, is better, because it's creates a longer period of the exchange and creates a larger channel. But you don't want to do it when the water level is too low. So if the water level doesn't get high enough by around middle of September, then they don't open it, and that's happened a couple of times in the last 10 years. But then specifically when you work out what month, what date, you want the wind to be blowing the water and then the ocean to be lower, low tide, so it kind of assists in that initial flow out of the water. A few impacts and stuff. There's all the new agriculture that's happening is trying to drain more water from the rivers, and then you've got this nutrient runoff, which can lead to eutrophication, which is where you get nutrient and organic matter building up, creating algal blooms. And then there's been a lot of reduced rainfall. So there's been an 8% decrease in the last 40 years, but that has led to a 30% decrease in the stream flow. And the more erratic kind of rainfall has led to that flooding. So in 2017, there was the water level was at 1.25, which is the highest it's been since 1978. And but then the drought is why they've had some recent closures, which can lead to build-up of nutrients, losing more eutrophication. I just thought about sense of community because it's a big event, and 2 weeks before they announce it, and then everyone has to make time to come down, and everyone kind of gets together. And I think there's also some potential for ecotourism and sustainable entrepreneurship throughout with regards to this event. Um, Finally, there's just a little video from the Department of Water and Regulation. It's about 5 minutes, and but it really shows like how great the cinematography is. And finally, just some references.